Welcome to the Northern Powerhouse interview series, where we're unashamedly spreading good news by interviewing Northern businesses and their successes during the pandemic. Subscribe to be notified of new interviews or click the link in the description to take part if you'd like to be interviewed yourself in a future episode.
Good morning, welcome to Northern Powerhouse Business Success Stories. So we have Tim with us this morning, who is the founder of Connective3. So thank you so much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate your time. So can you introduce yourself properly for us and tell us a little bit more about what you guys do and how you help your clients?
Yeah, absolutely. So Connective3 is a digital performance agency. Essentially what that means is we help our clients that we work with grow online. We specialize in search and social, and we use them channels to attract more customers and grow revenues for our clients. There's lots of different things that go into what we do, from creative to technical to paid media and planning. But essentially we're about growing businesses online, and my background is in search marketing for many years. So as a business, that's what we do. Yeah, we help businesses grow online.
Amazing. So I've had a look on your website, and you guys work with some really impressive and really well-known brands. Do you tend to work with bigger companies, or do you work with sort of smaller startups who are looking to kind of, come bounce into the market?
It depends, to be honest with you. We obviously do have some brand names on the website, and we do have a number of clients we work with that you probably recognize, in terms of, from TV and wherever else you may have seen them. But we work with anyone really who's interested in growing, and where digital plays a big role in that growth. And they have the money to really invest in that area, because you have to be able to invest at a certain level to get the growth that you need. So anyone who's looking to grow, we have worked with startups, we have launched businesses. One of our clients is Thoughtful Cards, so I guess a lot of people have seen and heard of now.
I've purchased cards from them.
Yeah,
I really like those guys.
Yeah, but 2 years ago they were a fairly small outfit, but their growth obviously during the pandemic, and thanks to some great performance in terms of what we've done for them, I like to think they've as a business they've probably grown 5-6 times the size in the last year. So it's been huge for them. So yeah, so anyone who has the appetite to grow, and the opportunities there, we will look to work with them, because that's what we're about, really, delivering that growth.
Brilliant. So can you tell us how, looking back over the last year, since COVID hit, since we entered lockdown, how has it affected your business?
It's been mixed, really. So I mean, if we go right back to March last year, when it first sort of kicked in, I literally got back off a ski holiday the day before we went into lockdown. So that was interesting. But I guess the first impact that it had was, nervousness with businesses. So budgets were paused, paid media was paused. So initially there's a revenue impact on our business. We only launched in October 2019, so it was terrible timing for us. We're only 5 months in. And yeah, so that was the initial impact. It's like, right, okay, what do we do here? We're going to lose some revenues. How do we deal with it? Do we cut back resource at our end? Do we furlough people? All that kind of thing. So that was the initial impact of it. Fortunately, we didn't have many clients in travel and hospitality at the time, so we didn't take the full whack there. Some clients kept activity moving. Then after that, you start thinking about communications, offices, teams, and how you get people continue having people work together and collaborate, and what you do about that. And that presents challenges to a degree, although not huge. But then once we got everything kind of in place, really the impact on our business has been it's been outstanding. Because of the focus now on digital as where you market yourself, where you grow your business, we have grown. So to just put that into perspective, we started with 5 people in October 2019, where we just hit 50 people. So that's the kind of growth we have seen in that time. And we're seeing clients across the board, albeit difficult in terms of those retail clients, bricks and mortar, that type of thing, really moving their budgets and investing in digital, understanding that is probably, in terms of talking about the new normal and all that kind of thing, it's really pushed that digital revolution a little bit. further forward. So that's the impact on us really. A softer impact is we just don't get to see each other, and an agency that likes to work together, that likes to be collaborative and creative, it just presents difficulty there. So yeah, kind of in a nutshell, that's kind of how it's impacted the business. We've made a few tweaks and changes, but on a whole, it's been positive for us.
Really
so a little bit guilty about saying, but yeah, it has. We've certainly benefited from it.
Yeah, you know, and people say that, you know, they almost feel like uncomfortable, I think, to talk about their wins in this climate. But you know, we need that. We need to hear that. I think it's really important that we're kind of spreading that message, and that, you know, there are good things happening out there, and you know, what can we learn from each other? So
yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing. The growth that you guys have had is, yeah, it's amazing. Absolutely.
It's been insane. It's been it's been fun. Fun and stressful.
Fun and stressful.
Yeah.
Oh,
so, yes.
What kind of challenges has that level of growth in such a short space of time? You know, growing the team from 5 to 50. What kind of challenges has that brought for you, especially when you've not necessarily been able to all be in a room together?
Yeah. So challenges. I guess the challenges is finding the talent. I think that's the key thing. When you grow at that rate and you're hiring people every week, pretty much in the last 12 months, it's finding the right people, because we're not just trying to make up the numbers. We want really sort of smart, engaged, ambitious people to come into the business and help us grow it. You know, we have big plans. So finding the talent has been difficult. Some areas more difficult than others. Also, not just finding the talent, but then being able to persuade them to join us, which normally your culture and your client base and the way you work would do that. But I think during the pandemic, people were a little bit more nervous to jump ship, switch jobs, and they want to keep things a bit stable, or don't want to make any rash decisions until, you know, this thing looks a little bit safer and in a better place. So that's kind of the challenge really with scaling up. Training, to be honest with you, and working together. Yes, there is a challenge over Teams or Zoom or whatever it is you're using, but we've coped with it quite well, and it's been fairly remarkable how people have adjusted and gone on then to deliver some fantastic work. So yeah, again, there's been a couple of niggles, but nothing that I would say is a major challenge. We've kind of just got our heads down, got used to working like this, over over virtual calls, meetings, all that kind of thing, and getting on with it. And we found, you know, productivity, creativity to a degree has been as good, if not a little bit better. So yeah.
Brilliant. And what about, you know, the guys have obviously adapted really well in terms of working remotely and, you know, learning to work like this and communicate via Zoom and calls and whatever else. But for you as a leader, kind of, you know, bringing everyone together and keeping everyone, you know, on the same journey, how have you had to adapt your style? How have you coped with that?
Oh, it's really, really difficult, because I've traditionally, I'm not great with emails. So I usually pick up the phone if I need to speak to someone, that kind of thing. But because of the way we're working, you kind of have to be on it in terms of what's going on in your team chats, what's going on in your emails, what's going on around the business. So I've been trying to be more engaged in that, putting out more updates about where I'm at, where the business is, what I'm thinking. When you're not face to face, you don't have them little conversations while you're making a coffee, or, you know, walking to the sandwich shop at lunch, where you can kind of update people on where the business is and where it's going. So you have to make a real effort to communicate, even if it is just in a chat note, or we have WhatsApp groups as well that we're all on, which can be quite dangerous. But we have all these kind of things kicking off, and it's just being active on them really and updating. I also personally just get a group of people randomly across the business together most Fridays, sort of 5 or 6 people from different teams, different areas, different levels. And just chat with them openly about the business, hear about what they're doing. It's hard to lead if you don't know what's going on in the different areas of your business. They often have questions about the growth, about what's happening, hiring, a lot about brands we want to work with and bigger ambitions. It's just a great way to connect with different areas of the business. They obviously go away then speak with their teams, and it saves it kind of going down that hierarchy from a Zoom call with my management team. But just engaging the whole business and communicating regularly. We also have a lot of people that live alone, and it's been really tough for them. So I think that communication and reaching out is really important at a time. It's not like you can go out for a beer on a night in the pub at the minute, unfortunately. So yeah, lots of communication.
Brilliant, brilliant. Really, it really is key, isn't it? I think in terms of, there's so many of us sat working around our dining tables, as I am.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
that
usually.
interaction is so important, so important. So, I mean, of these kind of adjustments and things that you've made to the ways of working, to the way the teams work, is there anything that you think you'll carry through into the new normal that we all refer to, that you'll actually keep on doing?
Yeah, I mean, we always had quite a flexible way of working. So if somebody wanted to work from home, it would just be a case of, I'm working from home today, and they would work from home. So we've always been fairly flexible. However, I think the benefits of that now are a bit more clear, giving people that ability to work from wherever they need to, whether that's at home or anywhere else in the world for that matter. So I think a hybrid model of working, we're still big believers in the office and that collaboration, but more hybrid model of working permanently is probably where we're moving towards. Things like this kind of communication. So there's quite often, you drop an email, well, actually you can just click on Teams, or that's what we use, and quickly speak to someone. I've done it a couple of times this morning already. That will probably stay with us. So the kind of virtual communications. The interesting one, which really isn't down to us so much, it's down to our clients, is how will clients interact with us. Usually you would be up and down to London, we have some clients in Europe that we would fly out to, and will that remain the same? Will clients see this now for their businesses as an opportunity to actually, do they need the same office space? Do they need this travel expense that comes, although I personally love it, but do they actually need it? They might not, and therefore they might see this as a huge opportunity to create efficiencies in their business. That might mean the whole way we work with clients is more virtual. And to be honest with you, it works. There's nothing better than a face-to-face, but it works really well for like monthly updates and things like that. Maybe meetings will just be less frequent, but that will be an interesting adaptation, and that will be based on our clients, really.
Definitely. So, I mean, we've all learned a lot, I think, over the course of the last year in terms of having to adapt, and our teams having to work differently, us having to work differently. What do you think is, one of your biggest learnings over the course of the last year?
Gosh, biggest learnings. I think for us, we used to do a lot of events. So lots of speaking, lots of thought leadership in terms of face-to-face type of events. We've really had to get on board with video marketing and how we do that. So we've learned really how to use LinkedIn and even Instagram and Twitter a bit better, and with a bit more rich media. So with videos and things like that. Usually you might put out a written post or an update. We've had to really get on top of, well, how do we put our personality and culture across, because it didn't really come across in a written document, and we've done that through video. So that's been a big learning, and we're still learning, to be completely honest with you. That's probably been the biggest learning, and then just getting used to communicating virtually is the and just getting used to these. I think you communicate more, funnily enough, when everyone's working from home. So just getting used to that way of working and communicating. But as I said, it's been fairly painless, to be completely honest with you, other than just the frustration of not being able to do anything. But so that our biggest adaptation is just learning how to deal with it in a world that isn't face to face, really.
Definitely. So if you could take everything that you've learned and go back a year, so as we were just finding ourselves in this situation a year ago, is there anything that you would do differently, or anything that you would have maybe done sooner?
Done differently. I'm not sure. The way we reacted to the pandemic was after a few days of sulking about everything that was happening. We decided to go out and double down on our marketing efforts, and we did that. We really pushed out, and we were criticised for it quite heavily, but obviously it paid off in the end for us. So we did react exactly how I would want us to react. Would I do anything differently? I don't know if I would. That's quite an arrogant thing to say, but I think we kind of weathered it quite well. I would have definitely jumped on, as I said, the video marketing. That took us a while to get into, and to be honest with you, we've only really been pushing the boundaries on it in the last 3 or 4 months, and really trying to get better. I'd have probably done that. You can't meet face to face. You can't go to your networking event. So where are people hanging out, and how do we engage them? online, and just probably getting, and video seems to be a good way to do it. It's certainly been a good engagement tool for us. So probably getting on that a bit earlier and investing in that rather than maybe being a bit more cautious. But we didn't know at the time how long it was going to last. It could have lasted, it could have, you know, summer might have never picked up and it might have been on full lockdown forever. Businesses might have collapsed more than what we have seen. Unfortunately, some have. We just didn't know how the economy was going to react. So I guess we were cautious. But if I'd have known with hindsight now, I'd have probably just continued investment at the same level and probably a bit more, because as we see now, the market is rampant. So yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. So what do you think you guys are looking forward to the most as a team, as a company? What are you looking forward to for the most in this new normal as we emerge?
I don't know, everyone's just looking forward to getting back into the office and meeting. When you've hired so many people, some of them haven't even met yet.
Met each other.
So yeah, face to face anyway. So there's tons. I think people are just desperate for that social interaction to, even if it's not in the office, to meet for, you know, a meal, a drink, a day out, or whatever it might be. That's what everyone, if I'm being completely honest, is looking forward to. But there's a huge opportunity there. So as the market turns back on and reopens, and digital being at the focus, so we're seeing, you know, bricks and mortar retail investing in their digital platforms. We're seeing travel hopefully switching back on in the next few months. Although UK travel is huge, and it's
staycations.
It's massive. It's absolutely massive, and we've seen huge growth in it. But yeah, as the international travel scene opens, we're really looking forward to jumping on that as an opportunity. And I've got a history of working with a lot of travel clients in the past, so it'd be good to get back in and start working on some of them. And then as the conference scene, a big part of what we do is expertise driven, and therefore being active on the conferences and seminars and actually getting out there and seeing and speaking with people, I think is key. We're looking forward to things switching back on, but the digital opportunity now has moved probably 3 or 4 years ahead of where it was. And we're kind of lucky enough to kind of hit that the right time, so we feel really fortunate.
Brilliant. Yeah. So, and what does the future look like for you guys? We've got big ambitions, and we started the business because I've run businesses before this in the same area. I've been part of PLCs and we've kind of got a good experienced management team. So we started with fairly chunky ambitions in terms of what we wanted to achieve. We're looking to grow, so we'd like to double the size of the business by this time next year. Amazing.
We would really like to sort of not for any other reason than it brings new opportunities, new clients, new areas of work we can work in. International is going to be big for us. We have clients in the US and clients across Europe and even Australia now as well. So it's looking at how we do that and how we grow that given the new way of working. It's going to be interesting to be able to pull talent from pools we've not been able to use before because of offices and locations. So that's quite fun, speaking to people all around the world really who can help us be a better business. So yeah, we're just looking forward to that growth, that expansion. The clients we work with are fairly exciting and growing too, so there's more opportunities with them. Some big sort of creative opportunities coming up. So yeah, we're just looking forward to kind of riding that wave of growth and building something, you know, pretty special as a business.
It sounds really, really exciting. The future sounds incredibly bright for you guys.
It's fun. It's really, really fun. Obviously, things can go wrong, but I think overall we're really positive, optimistic about the next sort of 12 months.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for chatting with us. You know, this is exactly the kind of positivity that, you know, we love to spread. We love to get these messages out there. So we really appreciate you sort of sharing your experiences and your learnings with us. And, you know, hopefully if there's something that, you know, another business owner, one of your peers can take from that, then we really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Tim.
Yeah, no problem.
Lovely. Right, we'll speak to you soon. Take care. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. What was your takeaway from today's interview? Please post it in the comments below and subscribe for all our upcoming videos or click for the next video here.